Hello, agus fáilteirih go SpeakGaelic. Welcome to SpeakGaelic. I'm in dóchas go bhfuil sibh an an Joy. I hope that you're in good form. An an Joy. That's another phrase that you'll often hear Gaelic speakers using, and you'll hear it again over the next half hour, along with its opposite, an an drochrim, which means in bad form. An an drochrim. But I guarantee that none of you will be an an drochrim with what we have planned in this episode. Tell people what it is you're doing.
Computer faisg.
Calum Maclean is in search of a match day treat. Ask questions using what, where and when. And we'll meet Teya-Jean Bawden from Kilmarnock near Beauly, who'll share with us her experience of learning Gaelic. Are you ready to speak Gaelic with me? A bhfuil sibh díseal. Nach tá sé sin maithe. And we'll start by talking about what you or other people are doing. To ask someone what it is they're doing, we say, Teya-Jean. What are you doing? Teya-Jean. And to reply, you use me, I'm, and whatever it is you're doing. Me. For example, Mhanachainn. I'm reading. Mhanachainn. To ask someone what they were doing, it's Teya-Jean. What were you doing? Teya-Jean. And to answer, we say, Vami, I was. Vami. Mhanachainn. I was reading. Mhanachainn. If you want to ask what someone is going to be doing, it's Teya-Jean. What will you be doing? Teya-Jean. A useful word here is A Mhanachainn, tomorrow. A Mhanachainn. So, to ask what you will be doing tomorrow, it's Teya-Jean A Mhanachainn. What will you be doing tomorrow? Teya-Jean A Mhanachainn. And to answer, be me. I will be. Be me. Mhanachainn. I will be reading. Mhanachainn. And a particularly good example for all of us is neach-ionnsachaidh Gaelic. I'll be learning Gaelic. Neach-ionnsachaidh Gaelic. Let's listen to some of these phrases being used in conversation.
So, Barstein, apa faisg bria. Jay had the Teya-Jean.
I'm having bring granny at the phone.
And be you call your television enough?
Crabby.
Oh.
Be me computer faisg. Jay the sheep knock.
Be me a levig leor, agus be me a Jean of liste son na bue.
Jay the sheep a Mhanachainn.
Be me a dol gan bue marach.
Be me hines mama koshach gaun sa farke.
Mahe?
And tell me a koshach gaun sa farke.
O stella me vi a koshach gan sa farge. Kucheri carriage. Fim me fallaf.
Bishin na dol han farke.
Barstein!
Bishin na dol han farke ek Jay in Mhanachainn.
Did you recognise some of the phrases we heard there? Elsie asked Mhanachainn, Teya-Jean. What's your mother doing? Teya-Jean. And Mhanachainn replied, Ha mam a brian ri granny. Mum's talking to Granny. Ha mam a brian ri granny. Elsie also asked, and be you a quiet television anoch? Will you be watching television tonight? And be you a quiet television anoch? To which Mhanachainn replied, Chavi. I won't be. Chavi. He then told her what he would be doing. Be me a cloich ar a computer. I'll be playing on the computer. Be me a cloich ar a computer. Later on, Mhanachainn asked Elsie, Javis sheevse a Gian of a noch. What will you be doing tonight? Javis sheevse a Gian of a noch. And she replied, Be me a leavig leor. I'll be reading a book. Be me a leavig leor. As well as a noch, tonight, a noch, we also heard a Mhanachainn, tomorrow, a Mhanachainn. Let's listen to some of that conversation again.
Jay had the vaha the Gianif.
Ha mam bring ri granny ar y ffôn.
And be you call your television the noch.
Chavi,
Oh,
by mi coich gymer y computer fisgo jehynye. Jay the sheep she jyn of a noch.
be me a leavig leor, agus be me a Gianif liste son na bue.
Jay the sheep she jyn of a Mhanachainn.
Be me a dolgan bue Mhanachainn.
I have a question for you. And bí sibh géisteach rís a podcast acin. Do you listen to our podcast? And bí sibh géisteach rís a podcast acin. If you want to get more tuned in to the sound of the language, why not listen to our podcasts, which you can download from BBC Sounds? Or try listening to BBC Radio and Gaelic, where you can hear lots of different programmes, which I am sure will leave you an enjoy. Now, I've been joined by Teya-Jean Bawden, another one of our Gaelic learners who's sure to inspire us. But before we start talking, let's find out a bit about her.
Is me se Teya-Jean Bawden. I am Teya-Jean Bawden. No TJ, Mhanachainn Cúteoram. I live in Kilmarnock, or Cill Mheàrnaig, near Beauly in the Highlands. And I stay in a caravan on my parents' croft. It's great to have my own space, but I am also on hand to help on the croft.
I know the west coast it falls heavy down. That the earth drifts so when she's spinning around you. I know it's heavy on your heart, it's weighing on your mind. I want to trade.
Cill Mheàrnaig. I am a musician and I write my own songs. I work for faisg, and that's what prompted me to find out more about Gaelic and start learning the language. Bí mi a fine córam Gaelic a brain san A Mhanachainn. I bought my road bike from a pal about 4 years ago. I remember being so scared at first, like it was some hugely elite sport not meant for an average person like me. A year later, I completed the Highland Cross. I love the peace and quiet that being out on the bike gives me. Sean Cill Limon. He's a rescue dog from Spain that I fell in love with. I picked up a bit of Spanish when I spent some time working on a ranch in Argentina. Limon understands Spanish, but I'm trying to teach him some Gaelic now. Hookin! I've got Gaelic-speaking friends, and it's been great being able to speak to them in Gaelic. It's really rewarding when you see a word on a road sign or text and think, oh, I know what that means.
TJ Falchors to speak Gaelic. How?
Oh, happy good Joy. Ceumannan.
Gàidhlig Mhanachainn. Now, it was through your work at faisg that you were introduced to Gaelic and started learning it. Can you tell us a wee bit more about that?
Yes, well, I don't know if I knew what I was getting into, but I had always kind of known about faisg, and I grew up through the faisg learning music. That's how I learned guitar, and I really kind of got the idea that I wanted to learn it quite early on working there. And it was just really nice seeing how it was being implemented in the day-to-day of the organisation. It felt very important that I should kind of take the opportunity to explore it too.
And do you use Gaelic in your job?
I do, I try to. get over that kind of fear of using it. But emails are great because you can kind of, you can double check your grammar and you can start an email with Gaelic and then sub into English. So it's a really good way to kind of keep using it.
And it is the confidence factor. It's trying to just make yourself use it so you don't get so scared.
Absolutely.
Now, you spent time in a ranch in Argentina and that looked amazing. How did that come about?
Oh, well, it was a friend of a friend who used to live in Scotland that moved there and owned this ranch. And me and my best friend decided that we want to kind of go and work there. So we wrote to her. This is a while ago. We wrote to her. But it was so remote that was really the only way you could reach it. So we wrote a letter, can we come and work on your ranch? And she wrote back 8 weeks later. And then we were like, okay, yep, come and work. And then we booked flights and we're going to arrive at this time. And it took months to organise, but it was before kind of phones and emails and stuff. So, yeah.
What an experience, though.
Yeah, it was one of those atypical gap year, life-changing, humbling times. I'm very lucky to have had the opportunity to work there.
Now, do your Spanish skills help you with your Gaelic language skills?
They absolutely do. So I picked up a bit of Spanish on the farm. Kind of like with faisg, you start picking up a bit and you're like, you know what, I want to learn this more. So when I went to university, I studied Spanish for a couple of years. And when you learn another language, you're learning kind of about grammar constructs and verbs and all that stuff that you don't really get in English when you're growing up. So it did kind of leave a bit of an infrastructure. So when you're talking about the condition or whatever in Gaelic, you know what that is. But I will say that I do. To begin with, when I was learning Gaelic, I would trip up a lot on my Spanish and I would speak this weird sort of blend of Spanish and English and Gaelic. It was quite interesting to begin with. But everyone's very patient, so it's okay.
Now, you're a singer-songwriter. Do you use Gaelic in your performances?
I'm trying to use it more and more. I have done a couple introductions in Gaelic, which is really nice. And I'm working with a really dear friend of mine. We're starting a new album and we're hoping to implement more of the language in the songs too, which is really cool.
That's amazing. Good luck with that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Now, do you have a favourite Gaelic word or phrase?
I do, yeah. Gaelic's got some brilliant phrases. Even just the English phrases sound better in Gaelic. So one is phony nagonis, enough is enough, which I say quite a lot. And another one would be Mhanachainn, I am 7 times tired of it. I feel like it just goes a bit further than saying I'm tired.
Oh, well, tafilif go mór, Teya. Thank you so much for coming to speak to us. I guess good luck with all your continued learning.
Tafilif, Joy.
And now it's time to catch up once again with Calum Maclean, Calum Maclean, to find out what he's up to and, more importantly, where. Catcha. And he's landed on his feet this time round. We're all going to be very hungry after watching this. Bíonn tach grasorn.
There's been many a great tune written in honour of the humble steak pie. That classic Beatles song, Lucy in the Pie with Diamonds. Of course, the traditional Scottish tune you hear all the Ceilidhs, Over the Sea to Pie. And indeed, over the sea, the most famous one of all, Bye Bye Miss American Pie. And bye bye indeed, because why should America get the credit? No. Today, I'm in Kilmarnock, Teya-Jean, arguably the home of the pie. I'm here to find out more about the famous Kilmarnock pie, one of the tastiest pies you'll find at any of Scotland's football grounds. Even the away fans admit they're bluster, tasty bluster. Maybe the boss, John Gall, will reveal the secret. By the way, pie in Gaelic is pie. What goes into making the best pies?
Well, if it's a Kilmarnock pie, it's the best side of beef that you could get with our own gravy mix and our own spices that goes in it.
Now, I never considered myself a baker, but this is fun. It's good to know I helped make a few of the 20,000 a week made here. But that's not all they make in this busy place. You must make more than just pies, though.
Yeah, we make 100,000 rolls a day, morning rolls a day. We make 30,000 pancakes a day. We make 30,000 potato scones a day. We make thousands and thousands of pineapple cakes every day. So we make loads of different things.
Depending on where you live in Scotland, you may have different names for the same thing. A buttery for me is a rowie for someone in Aberdeen, or a pie for me is a paidh for someone in Dundee. But whether it's a scone or a scone, it's always a sconne in Gaelic. I'm helping deliver some of this bluster food, honest. What kind of security did you have here?
Oh, we've got a lot of security, you know, because there's all these pies going about, and we just got to make sure that nobody's bulging out at the front when they're walking out the door. But I can assure you, when they're bulging out the front, it's just because they've just been overeating a wee bit and they're not taking the products.
What a day. I'm glad to have finally done some hard work to keep the tradition of the Cill Mheàrnaig pie going. You know what? I can now do with ceumannan. I just wish I had a sconne to go with it. Sorry, John. Thief. Mheàrnaig.
Oh, Calum, I don't think you should have done that. I do hope you phoned John to pay for those scones. Anyway, thanks to Calum's dedication, we now know that paidh is a baker, sconne is a scone, and of course, Mheàrnaig is a thief. Mheàrnaig. You can keep up with all of Calum's exploits and the vocabulary he's shared with us on all of our social media platforms. Chavishev an an drochrim, you'll certainly not be in bad form after doing that. Nisha, Evilshiv Jeshel, it's time to speak some more Gaelic. We're going to continue asking questions. There are 3 key words which we'll look at: cúine, cimar, and cáte. Cúine, when. Cimar, how. And cáte, where. Cúine, cimar, and cáte. We're not able to go into them in detail, but you'll find lots more information about these small but important words online and in our podcasts that will help you to get to grips with them. So let's start with cúine, when. Cúine. We use it to ask questions, and you may also notice that the final A gets dropped when we use it in sentences. Cúine vistu? When will you? Cúine vistu? For example, cúine vistu a fallabh? When will you be leaving? Cúine vistu a fallabh? And to answer, be me. I will be. Be me. Be me a fallabh ag 8 guaidhin. I will be leaving at 8 o'clock. Be me a fallabh ag 8 guaidhin. Let's move to cimar. How? Cimar. And it's also used to ask questions. Cimar a vistu? How will you? Cimar a vistu? You could ask, Cimar a vistu a siúlh? How will you be travelling? Cimar a vistu a siúlh? And to answer, we also use be me. I will be. Be me. Be me a siúlh ar an tréine. I'll be travelling on the train. Be me a siúlh ar an tréine. And finally, let's look at cáte, where. Cáte, which we can use to ask, cáte be? Where will something or someone be? Cáte be? Again, the final A gets dropped when we use it in sentences such as cáte bíú an nach? Where will you be tonight? Cáte bíú an nach? And to answer, you've guessed it, we use be me. I will be. Be me. For example, be me ag an Teya-Jean. I'll be at home tonight. bí mi ag an Teya-Jean. Let's listen to this next conversation and listen out for cúine, cimar and cáte.
Ysgur ma, Emma. Yn fel y dolog opeth.
Hallo, Johnny. Chanel mi dolog opeth y draste. Ba mi gopeth fat yn la agus ha mi nesio dol gachi.
Yn bydd y cosiach gachi.
Chafi, bi mi a fein trene. Bi mi a cosioch yn y station.
Nach bydd y driver.
Chafi mi a dreifig. Yn bi sif si a dreifig.
Chafi. Stol yma fi y cosiach.
Cyn i fi si fy dol gachi.
Be mi dol gachi an yn leher. Ac sireadh. Yn bydd y gobr y marach.
Chafi mi a gopeth y marach, just saharne.
Jefys dy tianaf la ie.
Bi mi a catal, agus bi mi a capatich di carachin awn sa gerem arch.
Bysyn ma. Bydd y ffain ffos.
Jefi si fy dyn fy gyda chiachgyn.
Be mi a dol go clas cocrach.
O, cachin bi yn clas cograch.
Bydd yn clas aws a cholasje.
Cymryd fi si fy fein chwn y polisje.
Be mi a dol ar y bas.
Agus jefi si fy cograch.
Be mi a cocrach. Bydd ffrangach.
O, ystalyn bi ag ffrangach, a chanel mi mar cograch. Cyn i fys yn clas y tosioch ych?
Bydd yn clas a tosiach ag 3 yn ffesgar.
Cwbys y chicysg?
Be misje a tjekkisk. Be misje a tjekkisk. Cocrach ffrangach.
Well.
Did you recognise some of the cúine, cimar and cáte questions there? Let's take a look at a few of them. Emma asked Shonny, cúine vis sibh a dul gachi? When will you be going home? Cúine vis sibh a dul gachi? And Shonny answered, awn yn liwedd, in half an hour. Awn yn liwedd. Emma also asked, cimar a vis sibh a fain chun na coiliste? How will you get to the college? Cimar a vis sibh a fain chun na coiliste? And Shonny replied, ar a bus, on the bus, ar a bus. And another question from Emma, cáte and be in class? Where will the class be? Cáte and be in class? And he told her it was awn sa choiliste, in the college. Awn sa choiliste. Lots of examples of 3 small but important words. Cúine, cimar and cáte. Let's listen to some of that conversation again. And don't forget you can watch all of our conversations on our website, supported by bilingual transcriptions.
Cyn i fi si fy dol gachi?
Be mi dol gachi an yn leher. Ac sireadh. Yn bydd y gobr y marach.
Chafi mi a gopeth y marach, just saharne.
Jefys dy tianaf la ie.
Bi mi a catal, agus bi mi a capatich di carachin awn sa gerem arch.
Bysyn ma. Bydd y ffain ffos.
Jefi si fy dyn fy gyda chiachgyn.
Be mi a dol go clas cocrach.
O, cachin bi yn clas cograch.
Bydd yn clas aws a cholasje.
Cymryd fi si fy fein chwn y polisje.
Be mi a dol ar y bas.
Agus jefi si fy cograch.
Be mi a cocrach. Bydd ffrangach.
The question cáte uses the question form of the verb cáte vilu or cáte an rau, whereas other questions like cimara use ha or va, cimara hau. We can add the questions co and j, co ha brian, who's talking, or j vawyd gianav, what were you doing? In the future tense, all those questions that use ha or va, instead of using be, as we might expect, use vis. Who'll be talking? Co vis a brian. What will you be doing? J vis tú a Gianov. How will we know? Cill a vis Mhanachainn. And in addition to our language support and conversations, you'll also find additional learning materials on our website, including details of language classes you can join. Now, let's look at what we've covered today. To ask someone what they're doing, we say, J hawyd Gianov. What are you doing? J hawyd Gianov. And to answer, you might say, Ha mhanachainn. I'm reading. Ha mhanachainn. To ask what someone has been doing, J hawyd Gianov. What were you doing? J hawyd Gianov. And to answer, Fa mhanachainn. I was reading. Fa mhanachainn. To ask what someone will be doing, J vis tú a Gianov. What will you be doing? J vis tú a Gianov. And the best answer of all, Bí mi a gionnsachaidh Gaelic. I'll be learning Gaelic. Bí mi a gionnsachaidh Gaelic. We also looked at Coinnichidh, Cimar and Caite. First we looked at when. Coinnichidh vis tú a fallabh. When will you be leaving? Coinnichidh vis tú a fallabh. Then we looked at how. Cimar vis tú a siúil. How will you be travelling? Cimar vis tú a siúil. And finally, we looked at where. Teya-Jean. Where will you be tonight? Teya-Jean. Fashin trangan. We were busy today. Don't forget that you can catch up with all of the programmes in this series on BBC iPlayer, with our podcasts on BBC Sounds, and you can also keep in touch on all of the usual social media platforms. So make sure you follow us and join the Speak Gaelic community. It's sure to keep you an an jothrim. Chun an áthairis maithe, mar sin léamh.